Hey everybody, welcome back to Mr. Rockenstein and Mr. Moore's Flipped Classroom for Math. Today's lesson is more about fractions and decimals, and this one's about converting decimals to fractions. It's going to be a short one. We've got one goal. The goal is that you will be able to convert any decimal into a fraction or mixed number. Here's an example of what we're going to be doing today. 0.6 equals what as a fraction, or 6/10 equals what as a fraction? And the way I said that might be a little clue to you. And I'll show you how it's a clue. Let's take any decimal. I'm just going to think of one off the top of my head, and I'm going to think of this one right here. We know two ways of saying this. A lot of times people will just say 0.3. But if we're being careful, we know that this is called 3/10. This being the tenths place and that being a 3. But hey, wouldn't you also call this 3/10? And that's why this is going to be a short video, everybody. Pick another decimal. We call this 0.25. But if you're being careful, you know you look at that last place value, which is the hundredths place, and we say that this is 25 hundredths. What else would be 25 hundredths? Pause the video, write it down, and then check. All right, so you've had a chance. Another way of writing 25 hundredths would just be 25 over 100th. And there you have it. You can convert any decimal by just saying it out loud and then writing it as a fraction instead. Let's do one more example. We could say this is 1.42, but it'd be better if we said 1 and 42 hundredths. So 1 and 42 hundredths, well, if we want that as a fraction, we write the 1 as a whole number, 42 over 100. 42 hundredths. 1 and 42 hundredths. All right, here's one for you. Pause the video, write that as a fraction, and then come back and check and see if you're right. So we would say this as 7/10. And we could write that as 7/10. So the thing to remember when you're converting from a decimal to a fraction is just that you take whatever place value the last number is, you make that your denominator, and you put the number on top. So the 7 goes right here. The other way I always think about it is just say it out loud and write it as a fraction instead. That's it. We're under 5 minutes. Remember, if you need to look back, refresh yourself on anything, or write down any questions, do that and make sure you get your questions answered.